Hello, everyone. We're going to be doing our presentation today on San Bernardino County and why we believe it should be a state capital. We're going to be going over just what is San Bernardino County, like what's there to do, and just the general area. And then towards the end, we're going to be explaining why we believe it should be the state capital.
I'm Bailey Pickens. This is my first semester at Cal State San Marcos, and I'm studying to be an elementary school teacher.
I'm Charlton Rodriguez. It is my fourth year at Cal State San Marcos. I will be going 5 years. I'm studying biology and I'm working towards getting my PhD.
My name is Jennifer Quesada. This is my first semester at Cal State San Marcos, and my major is in liberal studies.
So first and foremost, what is a capital? A capital is a city or town that is identified by law or constitution by the government of a country or part of a country, such as a state, province, or county. A capital usually serves as the government's central meeting place and offices. Capitals are usually located in a central part of the state. Having one location to govern from can make the process of providing government functions and rules a lot simpler. Capitals are important because they play a vital role in running each state. They house the governments of their state with a meeting place for state legislature. Each capital has many meeting buildings called capitals. A capitol building is the place where the legislative, executive, and most of the time, judicial branch of state government can be found. In order for a city to become a capital, it has to satisfy one of the following criteria. It has to be an intentionally planned city that was built specifically to house the seat of government, replacing a capital city that was an established population, or it has to be a town that was chosen as a compromise among two or more cities, none of which was willing to surrender to the other the privileges of being a capital city. Now that you know what a capital is, let's move on and talk about some of the issues in the state right now. There are a lot of issues in the state of California, some of which are more drastic than others. One of the biggest issues and the main issue that we are going to be talking about is homelessness. Homelessness is caused by 5 main things: a lack of affordable housing, unemployment, poverty, mental illness and the lack of needed services, and substance abuse and the lack of needed services. In the state of California, there is about 114,000 homeless people, which is about 20% of all homeless people in the United States. California has one of the highest rates of homelessness in the country. Los Angeles, for example, is one of the cities in California with the most homeless people. Homelessness is a big economic problem. People who don't have shelter use a lot of public resources, which causes prices to go up and creates no income for the community. Homelessness is also bad for businesses because it can deter people away from a business, causing them to lose out on money and not make a profit. Homelessness has increased by more than 22% in the state of California in the last decade and only continues to get worse. Another main issue in the state right now is jobs and the unemployment rate. The current pandemic has caused there to be a shortage of jobs, making it hard for people to earn money and pay their bills. The pandemic has also taken a toll on the economy as businesses had to close down for lengthy periods of time due to safety reasons. A lot of businesses have shut their doors because they cannot afford to pay their rent with their little to no income. Another problem is housing costs and availability. California has always been known for the higher housing prices. A lot of people want to move to California and there is limited land available, which means that there's not enough inventory to support all those people, so the housing prices are higher. There are more people demanding houses than there are available houses, which causes the prices to be raised in order to slow down the amount of people moving. New houses are not being built quick enough, and there is not enough available land, so the house inventory in California is low. All of these problems lead to homelessness in one way or another. If the economy continues to go the way that it is, homelessness will just continue to get worse. Now that I have shared some pressing issues with you, let's talk about the land in San Bernardino County and how it is used. In San Bernardino County, 80% of the land is vacant. San Bernardino has a lot of vacant land because of its reputation. It has a lot of low-income housing, which causes a lot of people to want to stay away. 15% of the land is used for military purposes. This county is home to multiple military bases, including March Air Force Base. 2.3% of the land is used for housing. With San Bernardino not being one of the nicer cities in California, there is not a huge demand for housing there. The rest of the land is used for industrial purposes and government buildings. There are multiple government buildings in San Bernardino, including the county office, the planning department, building and safety, city hall, and many more. Now that I have talked about the land uses in San Bernardino, Charlton is going to tell you all about the city itself.
All right, so I'm just going to give you a brief introduction of San Bernardino. So San Bernardino has a population of 215,941 individuals. This was taken around in 2018. It is also one of the largest counties in California, as you can see right here by the picture on the bottom right. It's towards more Southern California. As you can see, it is one of the largest of all the other counties. It is also home to the San Bernardino National Forest, which takes up a good chunk of the county itself. In San Bernardino, there's the Irada Hanezel California Room, which is more of a historical site and is used to house historical documents. San Bernardino is deeply rooted in its historical past, so therefore they keep the California Room in order to keep records of all the past events that happened here, even all the way back to the times of the Pilgrims and the first settlers to settle in California. And also another fact about San Bernardino, has one of the highest crime rates in California, and is considered to be one of the most dangerous counties. Now, you may be wondering why you want to move the capital over to this area that is so dangerous, but I'll get more into that information later in the next presentation. But right now, Jennifer is going to give us some information on just the people in San Bernardino and some general statistics about them. After I give you some information on the recreation that we have in San Bernardino. So right now we have 12 parks that you can have a variety of different, they can do a variety of different things. There's the ski slopes, one park that has ski slopes and you can go skiing during the winter. They also have fishing and boating that you can do, and you can go out and do that. They also have a variety of different hiking routes, and they also have ATV riding for the deserts that are over there. And they have multiple different museums of art that, give the cultural aspect to it, San Bernardino. And they have a variety of different historical sites at San Bernardino. Like one of them is actually the first county jail that was ever created. And that just shows again how deeply historical they are in their roots. And is also home to the legendary highway, Route 66. And now Jennifer is going to give you some statistics on the people in San Bernardino.
Okay. So as previously mentioned, San Bernardino has a population of 215,941 people. It is the 19th largest city in California. According to the most recent American Community Survey, the racial composition in San Bernardino is 58% is white, and the other 42% is made up of Black or African American, Asian, Native American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, 2 or more races, or they are another race. 48.24% of San Bernardino residents speak only English, while the other 51.76 speak a different language. Of that percentage that don't speak English, the largest group Spanish speakers, which is spoken by 47.01% of the population. San Bernardino is currently growing at a rate of 0.4% annually, and its population has increased by 3.69% since the most recent census. As you can see by one of the graphs, 62% of the population in San Bernardino are between the ages of 18 and 64 years old. So now next to talk about some of the incomes. The cost of living is low in San Bernardino County compared to its Southern California neighbors, but it is 28% higher than the national average. As a result, real income growth is important to ensure residents have sufficient income to thrive in San Bernardino County and afford the rising expenses. And average earnings are 26,927 per capita and 56,539 for an average household income. San Bernardino's County's median income surpasses that of the nation, but remains lower than the state of California. Both California and the United States median household incomes have reached pre-recession levels. However, San Bernardino County has yet to reach that milestone. There is a 28.42% poverty rate in the county. The city's top employer, according to its annual financial report, is California State at San Bernardino, which employs over 2,500 residents. Other top employers include the city of San Bernardino and the Community Hospital of San Bernardino. And to talk about some revenues next. So the city of San Bernardino is a municipal corporation. The city needs revenues to pay for services and amenities and maintain the built of the environment. Income for the corporation comes directly and or indirectly from anyone spending money in the city. They are pretty much investing in San Bernardino. So each of those investors have a choice whether to spend their money in the city or a different jurisdiction. So therefore, the city is in competition with that investment. San Bernardino also provides a lot of resources to the community, a few of those being substance use disorder and recovery services, prevention and early intervention, community crisis services, and a number of crisis lines that can be called to. And next, I'll give it back to Charlatan so he can talk more about plans for the future.
Okay, so San Bernardino actually has a few plans for the, San Bernardino, there we are. So San Bernardino actually has a few plans for the future, mainly in the 2020 through 2025. That is kind of the year that they're setting all these plans for. So the first one of those would be financial stability. So that's securing a long-term revenue source, implementing, maintaining, and updating a fiscal accountability plan, creating a framework for spending decisions, minimizing risk and litigation exposure, and creating an asset management plan. So kind of more of the things to kind of how to spend their money and putting that money into worthy causes. So they are also focusing on a focused aligned leadership and unified community. So what that kind of looks like is they want to develop and implement a community engagement plan. So kind of getting the community more engaged in matters involving the city or just special events that they hold. And so they want to build a culture that attracts, retains, and motivates the highest quality talent. So again, building credibility for their county and showing that they are, again, a high tier county and striving to improve. They also want to improve the quality of life, which entails reducing the burden of homelessness through engagement, collaboration, alignment with other entities. So again, San Bernardino is already kind of working towards the main issues that California is already facing, by tackling the homeless crisis, and even going as far as to aligning with other entities, not just relying solely on the county itself, but working with other resources to kind of stop this homelessness. And they want to develop a customer service initiative. So again, getting more feedback from the community and kind of get an idea of what the community needs and trying to fulfill those needs. And they are constantly evaluating public safety service delivery models to enhance the quality of service. Again, focusing on the people, focusing on their needs, and focusing on what they need currently in their life. Really focusing on the community, which I believe every county should be focusing on, and trying to meet the needs of their people. And their fourth is economic growth and development, which would be developing and branding and marketing campaign. So that would, again, providing more exposure for San Bernardino and letting people know that they are out there and trying to raise money for them. They want to update the general plan and development codes, again, kind of using that unused land, which I'll get into a little bit later, and trying to create a more or a better environment for people. And they want to roll out a strategy to create a 21st century urban core. So again, trying to build that urban community that a lot of other counties that have developed, and then now they're kind of getting on that and trying to develop a very nice community for the people that they are housing. And so with all this information, I'm going to explain, why we believe that San Bernardino should be a state capital. So again, it's already addressing one of the most pressing matters currently in California, homelessness. They already have developed plans and they have developed new laws in order to reduce housing and build more houses. And they definitely have the land for it because 80% of it is undeveloped land. So they have the ability to create all these houses and house all these people. And another reason I put here is to open the eyes of the government officials that visit there, because the county capital, if it's capital, county or state officials will be visiting that area, going over there to discuss legislature and how to advance their state. And while visiting there, they'll see either, as I said before, all the criminal activity, all the homelessness, all the lack of housing, and I believe it will strike some interest in them for understanding, like, why aren't we doing more to address these issues and more viewing these issues right as they come, instead of perhaps a more nicer county that is nicer on the outside, so they're thinking that these issues aren't pressing enough to deal with, rather than going straight to a county that is dealing specifically with these issues. And if they make it state capital, that can definitely turn the crime around in that state, in that county, because there will be government officials in there, there'll be more security. And if most of the laws that they do get implemented, like more housing, more job opportunity, more of economic growth, then crime rates will certainly be able to go down. And with help from the state itself, that will definitely be able to help turn the crime rate around. And again, just the endless opportunity for growth, that 80% of undeveloped land can be used for so much. It could be used for housing, it could be used for agriculture. It really is a gold mine. I'm thinking about just land in general that can be used towards the state. And here are some of the references that we use. One of the main references we used would be the sanbernardinocity.org. That one provided us a lot of great resources and going deeply into the plans that they have and sharing a lot of information about the city itself. All right, and that's the end of our presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you consider San Bernardino for state capital, because I think it would be the clear choice, and I believe it would really benefit California if it was the state capital.